every Friday, where we recap the top events of the week and talk about everything that is good for Bitcoin. If it's built on Bitcoin, then it's good for Bitcoin. Let's get started.
Content shared on this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It does not constitute financial, investment, or legal advice. The views and opinions expressed are those of the host and guests and do not reflect the official policy or position of any other agency, organization, or company. We encourage you to conduct your own research and consult with a qualified professional before making any financial decisions.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Good for Bitcoin. It is a day of celebration, a day of reflection, a day of a lot of things. 2 years of Good for Bitcoin. We are celebrating today. The show has been going on for 2 years, which is really incredible. I want to give a shout out to Shaylee. Back in the day when we started the show, we used to only do it on Twitter Spaces, and Shaylee was co-hosting with me, and eventually I think it was Sean Longstreet that joined Leather, and then he ended up also joining Good for Bitcoin and hosting, and Sean is who you hear still in the intro, given our legal disclaimer. Shout out to Sean, and of course Kate joined Leather originally, and quickly became the new co-host. And Kate, I think you've been doing it for maybe about a year and a half, so a majority of the time. It's been, I mean, it's crazy to reflect back on just all the things that we've covered in the space, how much this space has changed in 2 years. We weren't talking about AI. We weren't talking about Bitcoin treasury companies.
Nope.
Bitcoin was still pretty much like illegal almost, you know?
Yeah.
In terms of like, the SECs and CFTC and all these different organizations, in the US. And we've come a long way, right?
Yeah, we were talking about, well, first of all, we would talk a lot about like ordinals and like different things that were happening on Bitcoin itself. We were talking a lot about security and custody. I remember like we've covered some stories of kidnappings and just like how to keep yourself safe. No mention of institutions. There's really nothing around regulatory advancements. So, yeah. I can remember the first time you asked me too. You were like, "Hey, do you want to join this show? We kind of just talk about things that are happening on Bitcoin." I was like, okay, sure." And I was nervous to chime in at first, and like, well, yeah, look where we are now. Go hosting, breaking things
I'm glad
down.
I'm glad that you said that, because I wanted to like say that like I'm really proud of you, and I get emotional because of the news today, but.
Yeah.
Just all that you've done, for me and for, the industry, joining Leather, joining Trust Machines, us transitioning over to Stacks Labs. You've grown a lot, in the time that you've been here.
We cry.
And you've helped me grow as well. So I'm really thankful for you. I'm really thankful that we get to continue doing this show. For the people that might be listening, on the live, gotta address, the elephant in the room. I did get a haircut. We talked about it last week. So finally got that taken care of. And, on more serious note, there was some layoffs at Stacks Labs. I was impacted. Kate's sticking around, holding down the fort. And a lot of people, I think like being on the community side, I had to come out and, announce it yesterday. There's some other folks, that were impacted that, people probably know, but they haven't, announced it yet. I want to, recognize those people as well. There was 14 others that were impacted, and some really amazing people. So they'll I guess in due time come out maybe and share. I don't want to shout anybody out that doesn't want to be known maybe. But layoffs are never fun. Very unexpected, I think, for all of us. You never expect to get laid off, but it is what it is. We keep pushing forward, we keep building, and I don't know. I didn't want to prepare too much about it. I just wanted to say my thoughts on it, but it's been a difficult week. But we do have a lot to talk about on the news side. We're going to continue doing the show. We're not stopping at 2 years. We're continuing onward. And we have some cool announcements too, that I can share. I'm going to share my screen, so we can show our brand new website, which is so cool. Goodforbitcoin.com now is no longer just directing to Spotify. It is its own site, which is so cool. So goodforbitcoin.com, here it is. We are live streaming on the site right now. So we can just tell people to go to goodforbitcoin.com. It's really weird to see myself with a delay.
Yeah, it is a delay.
But it's really cool. So when you go to goodforbitcoin.com, if we are live streaming, you will see that we are live streaming, and you can tune in. You can click to unmute. I won't do that now, but you can click to unmute. If we are not live streaming, it'll just show whatever last episode that was streaming. You can scroll down and you can find all the links to all of our past shows and everything like that. And our socials and all the different places that you can subscribe to the show. So really excited that we have a central place now to send people to. Having a little bit more free time myself to get the website finally up and running. So we're happy to have that, and it's just a lot easier now to tell people to just go to goodforbitcoin.com to tune into the show. And if you're listening as well on YouTube, you can engage with the live stream there, and we should see those incoming messages while we are live streaming. So go to YouTube, go to goodforbitcoin.com, send us some messages, and
super cool. I mean,
exciting.
You've done all of this website stuff, so this looks sick. Well done. Huge upgrade. And I'm sure that there's going to be some cool stuff that we can do with it, because I know you're on your vibe code arc.
I am on the vibe coding arc. That is very true. Lots more to talk about there. But let's get into some of this news. We got a lot to talk about.
Let's do it.
Public company news. Lots of people buying Bitcoin this week. Strategy, of course, we have to talk about Strategy. And this is not a typo. They bought 22,337 Bitcoin this week. 22,000 Bitcoin. They now hold 761,000 BTC, which is just crazy.
On a tear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have Strive. They bought 317 Bitcoin this week. They now hold 13,627.9.
Why the 0.9? Just buy the extra 0.1.
I know.
What's up, guys?
Got to round that up. You can't just buy fractions of a Bitcoin. You have to buy the whole thing.
Yeah. If you're a Bitcoin treasury company, I think that's correct. If you're a person, I think that
Yeah, that's fair.
you can buy fractions of Bitcoin. It's okay. Also, American Bitcoin Corporation, they bought 399 BTC. They now hold 6,899 BTC.
Yes, and they were very proud about this. They were saying that they passed Galaxy Digital in their Bitcoin holdings, so now they're the 16th largest public Bitcoin company on Earth. On Earth. And then just shout out to British public company B Hodl. They bought 1 Bitcoin, and now they hold a total of 163.
Have we talked about them before? I can't remember. I don't remember
No,
B Hodl.
I don't think so. I don't think we have. At first I thought it was capital B, but then I see that we have you added capital B also bought some, so they are different, but yeah.
Interesting. Well, anyway, on the board, 163 BTC. All right, Gemini. which their like legal company name is Gemini Space Station Inc. I don't
did
know
not know
when that
that.
happened. But yeah, so Gemini, the exchange Gemini, they disclosed a 617 Bitcoin purchase in their latest earnings report. They now hold 4,619 BTC. And I don't think we have mentioned Gemini in the public company kind of space yet. So they're joining Coinbase in announcing like Bitcoin purchases in their earnings reports, which is cool.
Sweet. Yeah, like I said, Capital B, they bought 8 Bitcoin this week, and now they hold 2,844.
And lastly, we have DDC Enterprises. They bought 200 BTC. They now hold 2,383 BTC. And 200 BTC in a week is not bad for an Asian consumer packaged foods brand. So you love to see it. It's pretty cool that you have all these different types of companies that are buying Bitcoin. Good
Very
stuff.
cool.
We already talked about it a little bit, but there's been a lot of crypto layoffs this week. So got to mention that. Algorand, I guess, laid off like 25% of their staff. You had Crypto.com that laid off 12%. OP Labs, I guess, laid off about 20 roles. Gemini laid off up to 30% from Bloomberg, and I guess Masari had some leadership shakeup and cuts as well. So, I mean, we talked about it right before we started the show. Even before yesterday, for me, it felt like we were entering like a bottom moment. It's felt so quiet on socials. It's felt just like quiet, like truly it feels like all of the tourists have left. And now we're just left with the builders that are here, and all the builders are vibe coding and not talking to each other, and it's just quiet. And that's kind of where we're at in the industry right now. So it feels like it's kind of we're in a dark moment, but it feels like the bottom is hopefully, upon us, and hopefully up from here.
Yeah, I think that sums it up well. I think it's something that if you've been working in the industry for a while, which I know you have, it's something that you like, it becomes normalized, I guess. Like you kind of get used to it, and you almost like pick up a spidey sense of like, oof, something is not right. So I think you're dead on with that. I also read on the timeline yesterday, I think, that you know how we were talking about Block and they let go of like, I don't know if it was 50% of their workforce, or they let go like a significant amount of people.
Yep.
I think part of that was a clerical error. So they like let go of people that weren't actually supposed to be fired, and they're like rehiring them back.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
Well, wow.
But yeah, poor numbers all around.
Yeah,
it's the nature of the game.
Yeah, I guess Kraken also paused their IPO plans. We talked about them. It was back in November, I think. They said that they were going to be like filing for an IPO, but they didn't like come out and say that they have like paused it, but like sources were reporting that they are doing that. So everyone's just kind of waiting, for the next bull market to get here, and everyone's just kind of trying to keep it safe, play it safe, I guess, with everything that's going on.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into the next one then. We have Square, who's going to auto-enable Bitcoin payments for millions of sellers. So this one's pretty cool. Starting March 30th, the end of this month, it's going to mean that millions of businesses using Square could soon begin accepting Bitcoin by default rather than opting in manually. And it looks like sellers will have the option to disable the feature or automatically convert Bitcoin to USD at the point of sale.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I guess they like changed something in their terms of service, just saying that they're going to be flipping this on for all of like their merchants. So just by default now, it'll just be a thing. So come March 30th, come April 1st, it won't be an April Fool's joke, and you'll be able to pay with Bitcoin. Maybe you don't want to pay with Bitcoin. I personally I might do it.
I understand. For
the novelty maybe of it, but like, if you're paying with Bitcoin, you're selling Bitcoins. Who wants to do that if you can avoid it?
Anytime you can remove friction, it just increases adoption, I think. So.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, and it is, Square doesn't talk about it too much, but it is like also powered by Lightning, so this is also pretty cool for Lightning adoption as well.
Very, very cool.
So this one was pretty cool. I feel like it flew under the radar this week. This is really big news. So the SEC and the CFTC, they issued a joint interpretation clarifying how federal security laws apply to crypto assets. Some are saying, and that sounds like it to me, it's the biggest regulatory clarity drop that the industry has seen. So basically they are saying what is and what is not a security. So some examples: digital commodities are not securities. These are assets whose value comes from how a crypto system functions, not from someone else's management efforts, such as BTC, Bitcoin. That's just how Bitcoin, the network functions, is with BTC, the asset. This is really cool because I think there's been some back and forth on this in the past that we've seen. Digital collectibles are also not securities. So that includes NFTs, art, music, trading cards, in-game items, memes, things like that. Those are all not securities. Digital tools are not securities. These are like tokens, maybe that act as memberships, like token gating, tickets, credentials, things like that. Any stablecoins that are under the Genius Act also are not securities, which I think we kind of knew already, but cool to have that, really secured. And then also tokenized securities are securities. And these are traditional financial instruments that are represented on chain. We have more to talk about there in a couple bullet points from now. But one SEC report also specifically called out these tokens as not being securities. That includes Aptos, Avalanche, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Cardano, Chainlink, Dogecoin, Ethereum, Hedera, Litecoin, Polkadot, Shiba Inu, Solana, Stellar, Tezos, and XRP. XRP Army was going crazy this week, I think, with that news. So, yeah, really pretty crazy to see that level of clarity come from SEC and the CFTC. And I think for Stacks specifically, they also called out things like bridging tokens as well. Like if you bridge a token, that doesn't count as like being a security. So stuff like SBTC is safe in that. STX is sort of that fits within that digital commodity, right? Because you need STX to as like gas tokens on chain, stuff like that. So good for Stacks, I think, overall with this clarity. But yeah, pretty interesting to see. I think some specific ones like XRP and Solana also be specifically called out as not securities.
Yeah, I'm sure that they are pretty happy to have like a lot of this legal risk sort of removed.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, continuing on with the regulatory stuff, I've seen some stuff on the timeline really around the Clarity Act. I know that there was some pausing of it. We talked about it last week. But the White House reporters are even saying that the Senate is 99% done with the Clarity Act and stablecoin regulation. And I've seen Senator Cynthia Loomis, very bullish on the timeline, basically saying we're so close, we're going to get this thing done by the end of the year, come hell or high water. And I honestly feel like the more kind of like media pressure that's put on this, the more like the Senate feels they need to act on it. So yeah, I don't know if it passes, with the next quarter. I would expect a huge acceleration in institutional adoption and capital inflowing. Yeah, last week we talked about one of the reasons why it was stalling is actually banks, because they really want to protect themselves in having customers remove their deposits because they want to earn interest on their savings, and so they really want to protect themselves in this. So. We'll see.
Yeah, pretty cool. I know, as people have been going back and forth on, this act getting closer and closer to potentially being passed. And there was like some people that were saying like no bill is better than this bill, and there was a lot of back and forth. But I think now, I don't know if it's just like cope from some of the people, but I think now the feeling is like, let's at least get something out there. Revisions can always be made as part of like future legislation, but let's at least get this, because we're running out of time for any kind of bill like this to exist. especially with the primaries coming up, like you've talked about. So yeah, we'll see. 99%. That sounds. I like those odds. We'll see what happens. Okay, we talked about it, yeah, a little bit earlier, but this is pretty interesting. So the SEC has approved a Nasdaq rule change that allows for tokenized security trading. Basically, that means that securities like stocks can now be traded on blockchain rails. In similar news, you also saw the S&P Dow Jones Indices and Trade.xyz have joined forces to launch the first official S&P 500 perpetual futures contract, which is now available exclusively on Hyperliquid. And super interesting, compared to just trading like traditional stocks, which usually are, you have limited trading windows. So something like this, the S&P 500 perp, it's now available to trade. They say 24/7, 365. Just like crypto, right? Anchored by the official index data required for deep liquidity and institutional confidence at scale. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff that we're just seeing, just again, this blend of, institutions coming in, TradFi embracing crypto concepts like being able to trade 24/7 and trying to bring some of that into, the traditional markets.
This, I am not a big trader myself. But I have never really understood like the closing of the stock market. Like I feel like this makes so much sense to have like a market open all the time. I don't know if you're much of a trader, actually, but yeah, just like the opening and closing of the markets, like it just seems like blockchain makes so much sense in this use case.
Totally does. Yeah, I agree. I also am not much of a trader. Also, I feel like just being on the West Coast, it's like really hard. Like, the trading window for me is like even shorter. It feels like, because the markets maybe open up at like, I don't know, maybe it's like 5 a.m. my time or something, which like obviously I'm not awake at that time. And then it closes early, because of East Coast hours. So yeah, that trading window is even smaller for somebody like me on the West Coast. So yeah, we love to see it.
Love to see it.
I
And then we
thought
have
this was
another
really cool.
infrastructure. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
this
gonna
is
say,
really
there's
cool.
a lot of infrastructure plays this week.
Lots of infrastructure. Look, it's lots of building, right? Builders are building. Yeah, so really cool news from Boltz, which is a non-custodial Bitcoin Lightning Bridge. They have introduced USDT swaps, which allow you to move from USDT on Ethereum and L2s like Arbitrum and Optimism into BTC on Lightning with no KYC. So Boltz is powered by Atomic Swaps. So people just become liquidity providers, and yeah, it's no KYC, which is really cool. If you're a Stacks OG, you may remember LN Swap, which was a Trust Machines product, super OG Stacks project. They offered atomic swaps between BTC and SEX back in the day. This was long before SBTC was a thing, and LN Swap was a fork of Boltz. So cool to see
that is super
Boltz
cool.
continuing to innovate there.
Love it. All right. Well, we have some quick headlines to finish us off. I can start with the one that I added. It's about Morgan Stanley. They just filed for a spot Bitcoin ETF. So their ticker is going to be MSBT. It's going to trade on the New York Stock Exchange, ARCA. I actually don't know what that is. I should look that up. But it's the first major U.S. bank to file for their own spot Bitcoin ETF, which is pretty huge. They manage 1.2 trillion in assets, and they were sort of one of the first sort of institutions that were allowing their financial advisors to pitch Bitcoin ETFs to their clients, and now they want their own product. And even before that, they were telling people that Bitcoin was rat poison or something like that.
That's right. Capitulated eventually.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. North Carolina, I saw this week, they introduced Senate Bill 327, which is titled the North Carolina Bitcoin Reserve and Investment Act. Read through the bill a little bit briefly. Kind of just seems pretty standard, kind of based on the other Bitcoin Reserve state bills that we've seen, but just great to see continued momentum there at the state level. I feel like we don't talk about the progress happening at states quite as much as we used to, maybe about a year ago, but just cool to see some progress there.
All right. And then the last one is about Phantom. The SEC, they issued a no action letter to Phantom Wallet saying that they're not going to pursue enforcement if the self-custody wallet provider facilitates user trading through registered intermediaries without registering as an introducing broker.
Pretty cool. Yeah, people were saying that this was kind of like the first of its kind sort of ruling for like somebody like a Phantom Wallet.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're buying things through Phantom is not the broker themselves. They're just kind of acting as the middleman, the middle kind of software layer between you and the trading venues that are out there like Jupiter and other places. So yeah, pretty cool. Good for Phantom that they don't have to be succumbed to all that regulatory headaches of having to be a broker themselves.
Yeah, it definitely validates like the self-custody model and wallets that provide that service.
Yeah. Well, I think that covers it. Did not have it on my bingo card to cry during our show today. But yeah, we will see you all next week. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you everybody for tuning in week after week after week. It's really cool, to celebrate 2 years of the show and to keep doing it with you, Kate. And yeah, we will see you next week. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Bye guys. Thank you.